Now we're going to look at other properties of whole numbers, all right? So we're going to look at the additive property of 0. So basically it means when we add a 0 to any number, the result will be that number. For example, 0 plus 1, and I know you're going in your head, duh, of course. If you're going to add any number to nothing, it's going to be that number. But yeah, we need to go over these things just to make sure that we're on the same page. Again, if we say 0 plus 92, well, we're going to get 92. All right? And also, when it comes to, when it comes to subtracting, if you were to say 92 minus 0, obviously you're going to get the number 92. But if you swap that answer around, then it becomes something else. So if you're going to take a number and minus or subtract 0, you will get that number. But please, if you're going to take 0 and you're going to subtract the number, you're going to get a negative of that number. So just be careful. But here we're talking about the additive property of 0, and it's exactly that. That number plus nothing will give you that number. What about the multiplicative property of 1? Well, that just says if you're going to multiply any number by 1, you will get that number. Okay? Or a quotient. What do we mean? So if I say 2 times 1, I'm going to get 2. Did I just put 1 there? 2 times 1 will be 2. If I say 100 multiplied by 1, I will also get 100. And these properties are very important, especially when we start using variables. Okay, your x, y, z, w, whatever. Okay, this is very important. So now when we have numbers, it's very easy. You can always check on the calculator. But when we start having variables, these properties are going to come into play. Okay, so yes. As well, if you were to take that very number and divide by 1, it's also going to be that number. All right, but be careful. If you're going to take 1 and divide it by 100, okay, that's just going to be 1 over 100. So you can't really reverse it. It's not commutative. Okay, so just be careful for that. But we're talking about the multiplicative property of 1. If you multiply by 1, any number by 1, it's going to be that number. And if you divide any number by 1, it also is going to be that number. Okay, now let's look at division property of 0. So what does that mean? It says when we divide a number by 0, the number is undefined. What do you mean by undefined? If I'm going to say 2 divided by 0, or simply 2 divided by 0, it means that that number is so big, I cannot define it. Okay? In varsity, you learn that the answer is actually infinity, but in school, you will learn that it's actually undefined. And if you actually put this in your calculator, you will get a math error. Okay, so any number divided by 0 is undefined. If you put it in your calculator, you will get a math error. Why is it such an error? It's an error because that number is so big, we cannot define it. All right, so that is simply that. If you were to have, for example, 32 divided by 0, again, you put undefined. So in your test scripts, you're not going to write math error. You're not going to write infinity. What you're going to write is undefined because you cannot define that number. Okay, but the commutative property of it, if you were to say 0 divided by 32, that's simply 0. But we're not talking about that now. We're just simply looking at the division property of 0, which is undefined. Now we're going to look at the multiplicative property of 0. So if you were to multiply any number by 0, what are you expecting? Well, basically, if you're going to multiply by 0, you will get 0. Okay, I'm going to still use 2. So if I have 2 times 0, that's simply going to be 0. Okay, any number multiplied by 0 will give us 0. Still looking at whole numbers, let us look at the addition and subtraction as inverse operations. Okay, so with example A, we have 25 plus 5, which is 30. All right, So now if we now do the inverse, start from this side and say 30 minus 5, we get that it's equal to 25. Or we could say 30 minus 25 gives us 5. Okay, so you get the drift. For B, if we say 18 plus 20, we get 38. 38 minus 18 gives us 20. All right, there we see it. Now 38 minus 20 gives us 18. So this is the addition and subtraction as inverse operations. I'm going to give you a few seconds. You can actually pause and do C. We have 142 plus 129. What will that be equal to? All right, let's look at it together. So 2 plus 9, that's 11. We carry 1. 4 plus 2, that's 6. Plus 1, it's 7. And 1 plus 1 is 2. All right, you can also check in the calculator. And that will be 142 plus 129. That's 271. Then we can say 271 minus 129. Or we can say 271 minus 142. So what would be the answers? If we're going to subtract 129, we will get an answer of 142. If we subtract 142, we're going to expect an answer of 129. So I hope that you see the correlation here. If I have x plus y is equal to z, then I know that z or z minus x has to give me y. Or I know that z minus y has to give me x. Okay, this is simply what is happening here with inverse operations. Now, what if we have multiplication and division as inverse operations? All right, so if we have 32 times 3, that is 96. 96 divided by 3 gives us 32. Or 96 divided by 32 is 3. Okay, and for B, we can see 42 times 18, that is 756. So 756 divided by 18 has to give us 42. And 756 divided by 42 has to give us 18. All right, so we have 152 times 143. I will not be doing that by hand. We will not gonna finish, but you can actually do it if you have time. Let's see, do I still have it in me to do all of this? So we first start with 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 5 times 3 is 15, carry 1. 1 times 3 is 3, plus 1 is 4, and then we put a 0. 2 times 4, that is 8. 5 times 4, that's 20, carry 2. And 1 times 4 is 4, plus 2, that is 6. And then we put 2 zeros now. My goodness. 2 times 1, that's 2. 5 times 1, that is 5. 1 times 1, that is 1. And then we add everything up. My goodness. I last did this in primary school. So 6 plus 0, that is 6. 5 plus 8, that is 13. Carry 1. 4 plus 2 is 6. Plus 1, that's 7. 6 plus 5 is 11, carry 1, and then we have 2. So our answer is 21,736. Let's just check. Yeah, so in primary school, we didn't really use the calculator. I don't know if the teachers are going to allow you to use it here, and yes, we are right. I still got it. So the answer is 21,736. Then we can say 21,736 divided by 152 has to give us 143. Or if we take the same number, 21,736 divided by 143, it has to give us 152. Okay, so yes, that is multiplication and division as inverse operation. Now that we've done all those properties, the commutative, associative, distributive properties of 0 and 1, inverse operations. Can you do this sum? All right, try it by yourself and then we'll do it together. So firstly, we're going to start with brackets. So we're going to say 9 times. What is 3 plus 5? That is 8. And then we're going to say minus 2 times. What is 2 plus 4? That is 6. And then 9 times 8. This is where now you need, your multiplication tables. You should know. If you don't, please go and practice and memorize your multiplication tables up until 12. That should be fine. So 9 times 8, that is 72. Okay, and we are subtracting 2 times 6, that is 12. 72 minus 12, that should give us 60. What's another way you could have done this? You could have said 9 times 3 plus 9 times 5. Okay, and you have minus 2 times 2 minus, plus. I'm going to put that in brackets. So it's going to be minus 2 times 2. Let me do this actually. Let me put this in a big bracket so that I don't confuse myself. Okay, this minus over here is this minus over there. So now I have 2 times 2 plus 2 times 4. All right. So I know 9 times 3 is 27. 9 times 5 is 45. Minus 2 times 2 is 4. Plus 2 times 4 is 8. So then I have 27 plus 45. 7 plus 5, that's 12. Carry 1. 2 plus 4 is 6. And we have 72. And then minus 4 plus 8, that is 12. So there we go, we have 60. So you have 2 ways of solving it, and that would work. Now let us try this challenging one. Okay, try it by yourself, and then when you're done, just have a look at this video and check if you got the same answer. You can also check in the calculator as well by putting it exactly as it is. So where are we going to start? I'm going to start from the left hand side, dealing with the brackets. So I have 2 plus 0, which is just 2, and then 5 plus 0, which is just 5. So again, this is just the property of 0. We know if we're adding a number to 0, it's going to be that number. And then we have plus 3. And then inside the brackets, we have 9 plus 1, which is 10. And then I'm going to say plus 1 divided by. So I have a big bracket over here and a smaller bracket inside. So I'm just going to leave that big bracket. I have 0 plus 0, which is 0. Then I have 7 times 1, which is 7, minus 3. Then I have 2 times 0, which is 0. Okay, now let's continue simplifying. 2 times 5, that is 10. 3 times 10, that is 30. Plus 1 divided by, let's see if we can simplify inside. We have 7 minus 3 times 0. Anything multiplied by 0 is just going to be 0. Okay, things are getting a little bit easy here. So 10 plus 30, that will be 40. Plus 1 divided by 7. We only have 7 in this. So I have 40 plus 1 over 7. Okay, I know some of you are tempted to leave it here, but you have been taught how to add fractions, so I guess we're going to have to use our skills, our fraction skills. We need to have a common denominator in order to add the numerator. So at the moment, I have 40 over 1, and then I have 1 over 7. So in order for me to have a common denominator, what I do, I multiply the denominators. Okay, if I multiply the denominators, 1 times 7. And then in the numerator, so what do? I then multiply those that are opposite each other. So 40 times 7 plus 1 times 1. What is 40 times 7? Think about it. 4 times 7 is 28. Okay, So with that 0 there, we're going to have 280. And then I have plus 1 all over 7. So my answer then is 281 over 7. And we can stop it there. If you think this answer is wrong, you can always check on the calculator. So let's just put everything together as it is. Okay, so I have 2 plus 0 multiplied by 5 plus 0 plus 3, and in brackets 9 plus 1. Then I have plus 1 divided by, in brackets 0 plus 0 plus 7 times 1 minus 3, and into brackets 2 times 0. See, we have 281 over 7. I hope this is becoming a little bit easier the more you do it. Please do refer to your textbooks from school and continue practicing.